So I said in the first video that I felt like the walk-run method was the most important feature of the Born to Run program. Stand corrected, I apologise. I will claim that the DTI and your effort, your intensity, is the most critical feature of the Born to Run program. So in my time in 30 years of training and coaching hundreds and hundreds of people, I found clearly that the number one reason for someone performing poorly, injuring themselves or not enjoying the action of running, it's simply because they've actually pushed too hard too early relative to their current level of fitness. So your aerobic conditioning has much to do with your performance, your ability to absorb and then transport oxygen to working muscles. That fitness, that aerobic capacity governs so much of your performance. And so many people I find, whether it be ego or just not having a good understanding of what their most appropriate intensity and effort level should be, push too hard too early, and as a consequence accumulate a lactic acid level which will increase inflammation, placing great stress on all those classic running muscles, whether it be arches of the feet and Achilles tendons, knees, quads, hips, and of course heart and lung, and then in the immune system and the like. So they're pressing too hard over and above their intensity. So I've worked out over the years that what's most important when certainly you're starting running is to police a level and threshold which allows you to go to that level. You won't get hurt, injured and or ill. It allows for best development of your fitness and the continuity of training. And I call it DTI, so your default training intensity. It is your easy 65 to 70% of your maximum sustainable effort, say 20 minutes, which is in my case a heart rate of about 140. Now to the side here is a calculation that you can make, asking you a few questions, and that'll lead you to what your heart rate in beats per minute is, and that is your ceiling, and you do not exceed that ceiling for the entire 8-week program. Now to govern and police your heart rate, the best is live feedback, and undoubtedly the best is through obviously smart watches, and I'm using a chest strap which is ECG accurate, picking up the rhythm of my heart rate, feeding that of course straight to my watch. Now I'm aware so many of the smart features, including the watch I've got on these days, will pick up the heart rate via the wrist, and we've got rings, and we've got wristbands that can give you this feedback. Now I've used all of them, and I just haven't found them to be anywhere near as accurate as a chest strap. I understand that's a little uncomfortable for many, particularly females, but my history is that you do get used to them, and as I said, the live feedback is just frightfully accurate, whereas the other measuring tools and metrics typically seem to be as high as 10 beats over what your actual heart rate is, which is quite confusing and can allow you to sort of push too hard, exceed that DTI, and as I said, leave yourself far more vulnerable to injury and or illness. And as a consequence, not enjoying this process of you developing your running fitness. So I strongly believe you need to police this DTI. So if be possible, grab yourself some metrics if you need a hand getting this, even online, even some if you go into eBay these days, there'll be plenty of second-hand watches like the one I've got on, which are new, frightfully expensive, but people like me are forever turning them over. So check that out. And or if you don't want to use metrics, that's fine. Guess what? If you can't answer me in full sentence form, you're going too hard. So whether you're going up a hill, whether you are on a grass track, whether you're going downhill, whether you're with a friend, if you cannot hold a conversation, then it's likely that your heart rate, your breath rate, your effort rate, and your lactic levels are over and exceeding your best zone, your best ceiling, and you will leave yourself vulnerable. So if you can't answer me, probably going too hard. That's simplest way of determining how hard you should be working through the Born to Run program. I hope that all makes sense. Check out the calculation. If you possibly can, grab a metric and get that live feedback. As I've found it is almost faultless in getting you to the end mark, which is that 8-week 10K achievement in one piece. And I've enjoyed the whole process. The recovery of training to DTI is so much faster. You can train almost forever at DTI without feeling that you're cooking yourself. Check it out, get into it. DTI is king.